Good day, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on Storman Cloud correspondence plans and notices. My name is Cecilia. I'm the Marketing Executive at Storman, and I'm glad to see we have a great number of cloud users on the webinar today. We'll begin with a little housekeeping, so just so everyone knows what to expect from today's session. So the panel will be discussing with you the following: correspondence plans, configuring notices, editing invoice design, and after all the displays, we'll do a quick Q&A with time allowance in mind. So we are introducing you today to Michael Dutton, who's a technical support specialist in Auckland. And to help with the Q&A, we've got Jonathan Walden, our product owner in Auckland. We just hope to have Michael's session uninterrupted. So if you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat below. You'll see there's a little chat icon at the bottom of your screen in Zoom. So hit that, type away your questions. We'll get to those as much as possible. If we don't get to your question today, don't worry, we'll get to you after the session and get back to you and answer those. So without further ado, here's Michael to take you through the correspondence plans. Welcome, Michael.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael. Glad you could make it to today's webinar, where I'll be taking you through setting up correspondence plans in cloud. Correspondence plans are a set of notices that can be sent both automatically and manually to each customer. Often, storage facilities will have different types of customer, such as residential, company, commercial customers, vehicle storage, and more. Sometimes these different customer types need different notices configured. For example, company customers may need a statement sent to them each month, or a vehicle storage customer may need a different welcome email to residential customers. We can do this by adding multiple correspondence plans, then adding and editing the notices within them. It's really important to get these notices looking good and professional. It's how many of your customers will stay in contact with you, and it portrays your brand. These notices will also be important for cash flow and consistency within the business, as they will keep customers up to date with their balance, fees, and other important information. I'll show you how to edit a notice later. First of all, I will show you how to set up a correspondence plan. So first thing I'm going to do when I log into my cloud here is go to the left-hand side down towards system settings, and I'll just scroll a little bit here to correspondence plans, which is where we'll be today. So I have 4 different correspondence plans set up here, as you can see: residential customers, commercial, vehicle, and charitable. I also want to add a new one in. So up the top right-hand side, there's a big button with create correspondence plans. I'll click on that. And here we have the name of our correspondence plan and a quick description of what it's used for. So within that correspondence plan, there's going to be a lot of notices. I will show you how to create a notice. So because I already have a few correspondence plans set up, I'm going to use the charitable not-for-profit one, which is currently empty. And I would like to add some notices in here. So first thing I'm going to do is go to the top right and create a notice. This will bring up the notice configuration page. Starting from the top left, we've got the name, and I would like to create a late notice. So I'm going to call this one 7 days late. Moving on down, we have a description field, which is optional. This can be used when you have a lot of the similar notices, and this will just differentiate between them. Here we have an important field called type, and it's a drop-down menu which has quite a few self-explanatory types. For this one, I'm going to use overdue, as it's a late notice. This will allow us to set up the days late. So I'm going to change this 0 days to be 7 days after the late cycle start date, which means that this notice will send to our customers 7 days after they are overdue for their rent. Now, moving on down to the bottom here, we have delivery options: email, SMS, and letter, with three big crosses underneath. Now, that's because we haven't set up an email, SMS, or letter body for this notice yet. To do that, we can click on the email button, and that will take us to the email design screen. I will put up a subject here. So let's call it overdue fees. And then within the body of the email, there's all sorts of things we can do here to make it look good. I will give you some basics now. We can center it and use the insert logo button. And I would like to start it off with a dear customer. So I'm going to use dear. And then on the right-hand side here, we have some references that we can use. So under the customer one, I'm just going to scroll down and find customer name. I've got customer first name here, so I'll use that. That will be a reference to the customer's first name. And I would like to start it off as thank you for storing with Demo Storage Company. And we can use a reference for that as well. So I'm just going to search for that one, facility name, and there it is. So what I will do is I will click the preview button here just to make sure that these references are working. So we've got Dear Bob, thank you for storing with Demo Storage Company. So that was just a basic overview of what you can do with the email body. It works the same with the SMS and the letter design. So now that you guys know how to create a notice in a correspondence plan, I will show you some important notices that are going to help you day to day use Storman Cloud. So I'm going to go back to our correspondence plans page, which is just going to follow this top left link here called correspondence plans, which is a nice quick link just to send us back to our previous page. Now I have a residential customers correspondence plan set up here with 19 active notices. So I'll come in here and show you a couple of important notices. The first and probably most important notice that you're going to have in all of your correspondence plans is the email invoice notice. This is going to be one of the most used and most important notice within each notice plan. When overnight processing runs automatically at night, this will bill rental fees at a set amount of days prior to the due date and will automatically generate the invoice for this charges for you to review and send when you arrive in the morning. If you're not familiar with overnight processing, there are some helpful articles on our website. Knowledge base. So this email invoice must be set up to send out invoices to your customers. And you can see here that we've got it set up 14 days before the next bill date. So that will send to our customers 14 days before it's due, send them an invoice and remind them to pay. The email body will also have a pay online button if that's an option for you guys. If you guys have Store Pay set up, they'll be able to follow this link and pay online instantly with their credit card, and that payment will automatically come through to Storman Cloud. So that was the invoice notice. I will also show you the quick sale notice, which I have named ready for pickup here. So this ready for pickup notice will send automatically from within a quick sale. So if you have a customer that has ordered some produce and it's ready for pickup, you can set their quick sale status to complete. And when you set this status to complete, Storman Cloud will prompt whether you would like to send this notice to that customer. And within that notice, you can say something like, your order is ready for pickup. Please come into the office and pick up your order. We will be here from this day to this day, this time. The third notice I will show you is a online sign up notice. So I've called that one sign up at home. And this notice can be sent manually to your reservations and your enquiries. And they can follow this big red complete sign up button. And that will send them to the online sign up page where they can fill in the contract and complete their sign up to be a customer. This will then automatically convert in Storman Cloud their enquiry or reservation into an agreement for you. This will then inform you that you have a new customer and to take a look at their agreement, make sure it's all in order. So those are a few important ones that are going to help you work your Storman Cloud from day to day. And I will also show you how to edit your invoices. So we have a section in Storman Cloud, which I will show you now. If we go back to the cloud and come to the system settings again on the left-hand side, and instead of going to correspondence plans, we're going to go to the facility button. And in the facility page, we have a tab called Invoice Design up the top here. So this is going to give you a nice preview of what your invoice will look like when you either attach it to an email notice or print it out and put inside an envelope. There are a few different ways to change the looks of your invoice, including the different types of payment methods you put in your footer here. We have a separate webinar which goes into quite a bit of depth on this section. So take a look at our website news section and you can have a look at that webinar as well. So that's all I have for you today. If you guys have any questions, we're about to open up to a Q&A section. So I will hand this back to Cecilia. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Michael. Please, for our guests, post us your questions in the chat. There's a chat link on the bottom of your Zoom window. Click the icon and send us your questions. Jono will be answering a few questions we've received before the webinar while we wait for questions to come in. Could you take us through these, please, Jono?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Cecilia. I'll just take over and share my screen. So the first question I've got here, I've just logged into Storman Cloud. The first question we've got is, can I get my web designer to design my email notices in HTML? And the answer to that one is yes, absolutely. And we would definitely recommend it if you could have a web designer help you build all your email notices, because then you can have them all looking the same, have the same look and feel, and just really represent your self-storage facility. So under system settings, we're going to come down to correspondence plans, as Michael's just shown us. I'm going to open up my residential customers plan. And now my web designer has provided me the HTML code of a new email that he's given me here. This is all the HTML code. And what I'm going to do, rather than creating a new email from scratch, I'm going to click Create Notice. And this will be a direct debit email, I'm calling it. And I'm going to click on this email button here. This will bring up the editor that Michael showed us earlier. And under here, there's a button called Code View. If I click this, this changes the HTML editor to be code. And I will select all of my code in here, right click and click Copy. Come back over to the screen, right click and paste. Now I can turn the code view off and that will go back to the normal design view. And this is my email that I've just pasted in. Now the good thing here is what I can do now that I've got one email is I can copy and paste, use the same method, and just create a lot of different notices very, very quickly. And all I need to do is change the content once I've pasted it in. So I could change this email to be this. I might want to change this to be a new late email. And so on. I just need to edit the rest of the notice. So it's a nice quick way to edit your existing notices or create brand new ones. The next question I've got down here is, how many notices can a correspondence plan have? There's no limit at all. So if I just go back to my correspondence plan screen, you can see here, these are all my correspondence plans. I've got 20 notices for this plan, 6 notices for this one, 19 for this one, and none on this plan. There's no limit at all to the number of notices you'd like to set up. Another question, can I do a test of all my notices and how do I do that? Yes, absolutely. To test any of these notices, what we'd recommend is creating a brand new agreement in Storman. Create a customer, create an agreement. I probably wouldn't move yourself into a unit because then you might end up billing yourself for rent, but just create yourself as a test customer, put in your email address and your phone number, and send the emails or SMS to yourself and just have a look at how they look, make any changes, and then keep going until you've got them exactly how you'd like them to look. Oh, this is a good question. How do I change the correspondence plan my customer is on? Okay, so over to the operations dashboard. What we're going to do here is open up a customer. We'll open up John Smith. And under the, let's get rid of this note, under the correspondence tab over here, this is the tab that shows you on the right-hand side all the SMS, emails, and letters that have been sent to John. And on the left-hand side here is where we change the plan that he's on. So he's currently on the residential customers plan. And if he was a business, we might want to change him to our commercial plan because we have our commercial invoices set up to go to be sent 31 days before they're due, whereas our residential customers, they're normal, so they get them 14 days before due. So this is where you change the plan that a customer is on here. Scroll down and click the save button. We've just had a question come in. Can I edit my letters like I can the invoices? Yes. So earlier Michael showed us how to edit the invoice design. You can customize your letters as well. Under the system settings, go to facility. Then up over here, we've got the invoice design tab, and the next one over is the letter design tab. So what we can do with this, in our correspondence plans, you can obviously create the letter, the email, or the SMS as much as you'd like. You can build the body as much as you'd like. But here you can set up a header to be printed on all of your letters, regardless of the design you create in the notice design screen. So at the moment, my facility prints on letterhead, so I have no header. But what I could do is I could have a right side aligned logo, a left side aligned logo, or a centered logo, as well as a footer. So I can have a custom footer here that I can create myself, or I can have no footer, or I could have the standard footer, which we put in there for you. It's just your facility name, address, website, phone number, and email. Now, whatever you set up here will be printed on every single letter, regardless of the design you create. So I'll save this and we'll just go and print a letter to show you how that looks. Back to the operations dashboard. And this time we'll open up Maria. And back over to our correspondence tab. And this time we're going to click the print letter button here. This will show us the list of letters that we have available to print, and we're going to print her a 28-day late letter, which we'll download as a PDF ready for us to print out. And this should have our, this notice has a late fee on it. So Storman will also ask us if we'd like to charge a late fee. I'm going to say no, because I don't want to charge this to her. And this will also ask if you want to kickstart the late cycle. So the reason it's asking us this is Maria she's currently not late, but because I'm printing a late letter, Storman is just reminding us that she's not late, and we can go and kickstart her late cycle and make her late 28 days late as of now, or we can just print the letter. So I'm just going to print it. Now we've got our PDF to print out, and this has the header at the top. From here down, this is the design of my letter notice that I've created in the notice plan screen, and this is my footer. And the last question we've got here, oh no, someone deleted that question out, never mind. Okay, I think that's all the questions we've got so far, but there is one other thing I did want to show everyone while we're here that we can do with correspondence plans. So over to the sales dashboard, I'm just going to switch between a couple of different screens to show you this. If I scroll down to a lead that I prepared earlier, Jono here, and he has been quoted for a 3x3 and 500 large boxes. Now, normally what I could do here is I could hover on this button and print the quote, which would download it as a PDF, or I could email the quote to my customer, and I can select from the templates or the notices that I have available. And as you can see, this list can be a little bit daunting, and there are emails in here that aren't actually related to quotes or leads. So what we can do, if I close this and come back to correspondence plans, I'll open that up in a new tab, open up my correspondence plan, and you'll see I've got 2 quote emails if I search for them here. but they don't have a type against them. So I'm going to edit these two quote emails, and I'm going to change their type to be the quote cover email. And this one as well, quote cover email. And if I save that, now if I go back to my quote screen, I'll give that a bit of a refresh. Now when I try and email this quote out to Jono, what's going to happen is the templates that I can select to email from will only be those that are related to quotes. This is so I can't accidentally send a rent increase or a late letter to someone when all I'm wanting to do is send them a quote, which is quite a nice feature. And this can be used in a few different places, not just quotes and leads. The other types we have available are quote cover email, invoice cover email. So when you're sending an invoice, the only notices that you'll be able to select from are the ones for invoices. The same with receipts, statements, the DDR form, and the autopay form as well. So again, just making sure you don't accidentally send the wrong type of a notice. You can tag the certain notices that will show up when you're on that screen.
That is very handy, Jono. So that was our session today, guys. I want to thank our panel, Michael and Jono, for taking us through the correspondence plans and notices. And thank you to our guests for attending. We'll send out a recording of today's session to you as soon as possible, and we'll also post it online later. So thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Till next time.